Good morning. How's everybody today? I hope you're well. Today is January 14th. That's 1/14/2023, which is a 15 and a 7, which is a 22, which is a 4. Today's a 4. Cool. All right. All right, let's see what we got here for today. For today's message for the collective from a voice of the collective. That one'll do. Karmic relationships again. My, and all paths lead home. Let's get right to it. The constellation Orion is thought by many to have been a place of great polarity and eventual unity. Some believe that many starseeds who are part of this cosmic history are incarnate on Earth now and are playing out karmic relationships from Orion times. Perhaps you're one of them. Polarity causes conflict and highlights separation. However, because of this, conflict can also result in unity and growth. Too many misunderstandings are caused when we don't open our heart and mind and see things from a different point of view. When we get in, when we sorry, when we go into reactive second guessing mode instead of gathering the courage to open our heart, we should admit that maybe we have reacted because of our own woundings and then find mutual ground. We're all innocent children looking to be seen, understood, and cherished. It's much harder to grow closer through conflict than it is to grow further apart. And yet, that's the invitation of conflict. It's easy to react and take things personally. It's more challenging to see the innocence of all involved and find a way to grow closer through the conflict. It's the relationships that we grow the most. How can you soften your heart and drop your defenses enough to see things from a different point of view? How can you see the innocence of all involved? How can you learn to see the similarities rather than the differences? Which relationships do you find the most challenging? How can you see things from a different perspective? How are you being called to allow growth through the conflict? Very interesting. Those cards were really well shuffled too. So, right on the heels of karmic relationships come all paths lead home. Inner intuition, inner authority. Turn your gaze within. That's the one thing about the karmic relationships. I know I've mentioned it before, but the best way to improve any relationship is to improve yourself. And here we go. All paths lead home. Inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. It's normal to look to the external world for answers and guidance. What's revolutionary is turning your gaze inward. You're being called to source your guidance from within, to study the terrain of your inner landscape, to develop a reliable relationship with your own soul. The more time you spend connecting with your soul, the deeper the connection will become. The challenge for empaths is staying connected without cutting off from the world. The best way to do this is to develop a daily practice that helps you to keep checking in, drawing the wisdom within, and let that be the authority in your life. If this card appears, you may be called to develop or switch up your spiritual practice. Get in the habit of turning your gaze within, getting centered for the day before consuming anything from the outside world, to start from a feeling of at homeness. And throughout the day, find simple ways to keep coming home. This doesn't mean switching off from the realities of today's world. We need as many conscious people as possible living with their eyes wide open. Rather, it's a call to start your day from a place of connectedness, grace, and devotion. So when you go out into the world and when you let the world in, you do it from an unshakable state of being, a state where you draw your strength, authority, and guidance from a place deep, deep within. Interesting. That is a beautiful message for the day or two that tie together. Excuse me. Have a beautiful day. Love you all, and we'll talk tomorrow.